All right, ladies and gentlemen, so in regard to chromosome number during cell division, and again, the reason this really matters right now is because we're going to start talking about meiosis a little bit more, and in meiosis, chromosome number changes, or in mitosis, one 46 chromosome cell made another cell with 46 chromosomes, right? Our cells. In meiosis, it's going to change because we're making sex cells, sperm and egg. Those cells have a different chromosome number than the rest of the cells in your body. And we'll find out why. So to begin, you and I are diploid organisms, right? That's how you pronounce this word. Diploid, we pronounce it diploid. So diploid means that there are two of each kind of chromosome in each cell. So every cell type in your body has 23 pairs of chromosomes. You have one chromosome per pair from mom and one chromosome per pair from dad, making you a diploid organism. And the way we represent diploid, if you don't want to write the word, is we write 2N, where N just refers to number of chromosome, number of chromosome sets. We have two. Yeah, N is the number of different chromosomes an organism has. Humans are 2N because we have two of each kind of chromosome, right? If you think back to last screencast or last class, that karyotype, that layout of all our chromosomes, there were two of every chromosome, two number 1s, two number 15s, right? Two of each kind. So diploid cells contain two complete sets of chromosomes, and every single cell in your body is diploid except sperm cells if you're a male and egg cells if you're a female. So in mitosis, you have one, let me get this out of the way first. Just wait for that to, okay. So you have one diploid represented here by 2N cell that's going to make two 2N diploid cells. So it's making identical copies. It's making another diploid cell. But actually in meiosis, because this is mitosis you're seeing here, in meiosis, we're going to go from a 2N cell to a cell with 1N, only one set of chromosomes. So chromosome number in gametes, right? Gametes are the biological term for sex cells. Gametes describe sperm and egg, and you see I have human egg cells and human sperm cells pictured here. So egg and sperm cells actually have to have half the number of chromosomes. Now think about that for a second. Why would egg and sperm need half the number of chromosomes? Well, don't egg and sperm come together to make the zygote, the first cell you ever were? If each one had 46, that first cell would have 92. That's not a human. But if each cell had 23 and they came together, then that would make that first cell with 46 chromosomes. That's a human. So the zygote, ultimately, the reason these eggs and sperm cells have half the number is because the zygote needs to have the proper number that a diploid cell would have, right? And examples of these cells that have half the number of chromosomes are gametes in the human body. So one egg cell, which has 23 chromosomes in it, right? That's not 23 pairs. That's just 23 individual chromosomes. And a sperm cell that has, again, 23 individual chromosomes. When you put those together, you're going to get that zygote that has 46 chromosomes. And the zygote is the one we can say has 23 pairs, right? So in this egg cell, you're going to see a number 1 chromosome. And it's going to be a homolog, right? A homologous chromosome to the number 1 chromosome found in a sperm cell of the same species. And you can also write this with the symbols, right? So 2N we know represents a diploid because we have two sets of chromosomes. And sperm and egg only have one set of chromosomes. So let's just make it simple and say that they are 1N. So you can write it this way too if you like. Now we call, sets of, or cells that have multiple sets of chromosomes, two sets of chromosomes in them, diploid. So if it only has one set of chromosomes in it, the cell does, we call it haploid or 1N because there's only one kind of each chromosome, right? So in the sperm cell, there's only one number 1 chromosome. There's only one number 10 chromosome. And same for the egg cell. Now, the cells which produce eggs and the cells which will produce sperm start out as diploid. They start out as these 2N cells, these cells with 46 chromosomes or 2 complete sets of chromosomes. So how the heck do we go from egg? How do egg and sperm cells get to 1N basically? How do we go from having 2 complete sets of chromosomes in the cell to making a cell that only has 1 set of chromosomes? The answer is meiosis. All right, mitosis, cis cousin, basically. So meiosis is a process of reduction, division in which the number of chromosomes per cell is cut in half through the separation of these homologous chromosomes. There are phases of meiosis, but before we get there, let's talk about the important aspects of meiosis here. So meiosis occurs in the sex cells only, sperm and egg. It only makes sperm and egg. No other cells in your whole body does meiosis make. And the purpose is to reduce chromosome number. We want to get from 46 chromosomes to a cell that has only 23. And of course, meiosis, like mitosis, is preceded by the replication of chromosomes in the S phase of interphase. But unlike mitosis, this replication is then followed by 2 cell division events. Whereas in mitosis, there's just mitosis cytokinesis, right? But in meiosis, there's going to be 2 sets of division, not just 1. And we call those sets meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And here are the stages of meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 up here, meiosis 2 is down here. Okay, and we'll get into this a little later, but I leave you with this to look at. This is meiosis 1, meiosis 2. You should realize that if you look at the internal contents of the cell in each one of these steps, it looks hyper similar to mitosis because it is. See you in the next one, folks.